So the question is, how do you know when you can delegate, when it's time to basically let go at your business? And the question that was posed is actually a question that I heard Gary Vaynerchuk answer on his Instagram page, and maybe it was just an excerpt from one of his videos that he does on his YouTube channel. And most of you, I'm sure you've heard of Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. I call him the ultimate entrepreneur. But anyways, Gary's on Instagram. He answered the question, how do you or when do you know when you can delegate? And Gary gave an answer, which I was kind of surprised to hear because I've actually met Gary. I know how intense he can be. But I think he was just kind of like just giving his answer. And he said, well, you just get a feel for it. Well, that's really not how it goes, at least not in any business that I've ever started, and not from any of the hundreds of business owners that I met when I published my business magazines or my weekly newspaper or my daily radio show. Nobody's ever said, well, you just get a feel for it. No, there's a system. And speaking of systems, that's what you have. You put a system in place. You set your system up, a step-by-step, basically, instructions. That's the first thing you do. That's number one. Number two, what you do is you get an employee, you have an employee or a coworker, whatever you want to call that person, a member, a staff member. You get somebody you can trust, somebody who can understand and basically follow instructions and even think for themselves, because obviously that's really what you want, is somebody who can think for themselves, but they're following your system. So you got the system, you get a great employee, someone who you can trust, who follows the system, and then what you do is you just simply test them. You test them. You give them an assignment. Maybe what you do if you got a store, you run out for the whole afternoon. You say, hey, handle this for me, please. So you're testing them. You go out for the day. You come back. You see what they did. And maybe what you do the next day is you go out for, maybe the whole day. And then you come back at the end of the day and you see what they did. And then you know, hey, man, I got a system here. I got an employee. I can start letting go. But it's not just like, you don't just get a feel for it. It's not how it is. And I said, maybe Gary, I know he's a super intense dude. And maybe he was just giving this answer kind of just, hey, giving it because he does a lot of the content, as he always says he does a lot of content, and could be one of those rush jobs. I don't know. I don't want to speak for him, but I know he's usually a pretty good dude, at least as far as I have ever seen. But that to me, if we're going to talk about it, letting go, well, let go, create the system, get the employee you can trust, and then test them. And then after that, you should be able to let go and feel good that you're letting go. And this is my daily rule for today, is just have a little plan. That's all you got to do. It's so simple to do. Now, if you do want some more in-depth, I want to say instructions. I do have a workshop. I want to mention it. Got a workshop called How to Start a $1 Million Business from Scratch. There's a link to that in the description box. You can check it out for yourself. But I'm not here to sell that workshop. I'm here to say if you want to know how to basically let go, how to delegate, that's how to do it.
Come on!